Hello everyone, Sujal here. I decided to do a review about A Matter of Principles. This episode were, well, how would I put it? Quite unusually. Just consider this episode were quite odd. To see first Twilight with her friends, with students, teaching about this scavenger hunt today after she planned, and especially one of those objects represent of each the cultures of the some of the students, like yaks, dragons, the sea ponies, and the pony kind. I could even say that was actually quite interesting. We haven't ever seen any of those kind of scavenger hunts before in the show, so I thought that could be a quite interesting idea. Maybe we could have some learn something more about each culture from the artifacts, like Clover Clever's cloak, or this shell from the sea ponies, or the helmet of the Jacks, for example. Seeing these artifacts was quite interesting a piece of a history, since I am kind of a big history nerd myself. I love studying history. But anyways, and even then to see that apparently all the main six were called off to a friendship problems so far away to some unknown place. They were not mentioned exactly what the name were or anything. And after that they left, the Twilight had ensured Starlight as the head mayor for the school. At first, Starlight didn't want to have it work at first. But I can understand that first from her point of view that she was a little bit skeptical and even unsure if she could even handle this kind of work, because she has always been this study counselors for guidance counselor for the school, but to be part as a temporarily headmaster or head mayor, it was a new step for her. But even to see that her immature even more. And even to see Discord appears in this episode, well, I was not even heard of that before. Since Discord has the old habit to appear at middle of nowhere. And of course, Discord is a quite funny character, I have to admit that. He's one of my top favorites. But for all this, Discord thought that he was going to be chosen to be looking after school for Twilight and her friends. But it turns out Twilight never asked him or even thought about that. And since after the main six were all the teachers at the school, they all had to send away. Starlight had at least Spike's help to run the school for her, like an assistant. And I think that is just a great improvement for Spike. In the past seasons, they always abused him, or used some sort of punching bag or throwing him into some bad accents or something. But in this episode, we can see that Spike finally had its improvement on his character, and that is just perfect. Even he has his wings now, and he can fly around without any problems. But just seeing that he's very mature to help Twilight and Starlight in any problems at school. I don't know exactly if this staff was like what. I was just proud that happened. But even to see that Discord tries to convince Starlight that he would run the school even better than her. But it seems that she tried to make him stay away from school, tried to convince himself that she could run it better. I mean, that would be something. That's just I mean, the Discord itself is a mysterious character. He had still his old habits to make his using his chaotic powers for pranks on his friends, but nothing serious anyways. But he had helped his friends in past with very different various of projects, works, or even helping in the adventures or something. Sometimes he can be some sort of like a sidekick character, but he has very much had improved himself over past seasons. Even he has been going back to some of his old habits. But I know that Discord wanted to help his try to convince Starlight that he is the better teacher, or even perhaps even better headmaster. And the next day, after she came back to school, she found out Discord had somehow rechanged, redecorated the office, and he had already hired new teachers for temporarily. And that was actually one of the things on the list that Twilight had, since all of the teachers were away. But to see Ironwill, Cranky, the donkey, and I was like, what? And Ironwill? We haven't seen this since the previous on the episode where Twilight was on this vacation. But I do say this. Ironwill as a teacher? Oh no. I would not recommend he as a teacher character, no way. Ironwill doesn't fit to be a teacher. And Cronky? No. He always complained that his iced tea was either too cold, too warm, or too hot, or even had not too much tea flavor. I don't say that. And Trixie? She was actually more suitable teacher. But I say this, and also the third teacher that Discord had hired, a dragon sneeze tree. I know that in the previous episode, Princess Spike, we have seen a tree in Canterlot. And we can see that Smolder has the same reaction as Spike had. Uncontrolled sneezing. And we can see the next day afterward that we can see Starlight had already hired 3 more other teachers. Splitfire, Trixie, and Maud Pie. We know that Spitfire had taken over all his gymnastics classes, and Trixie about magic, and perhaps even about friendship or magic. But Maud, well, we didn't see her in what class she was teaching. So I'm curious. Was she teaching geology or poetry or something? I have no idea. Since we only saw her in the one of she met the students, but we never see her in any class. But it would surprise me if she studied or was teaching poetry or something, since she has written her rock poetry herself. We perhaps even studied teaching about minerals, rocks, different sediments. I don't know. But Spitfire as a gymnastics teacher was not what I could say that wouldn't be as actually fitting for her, since she is I think she is the captain of the Wonderballs, and that she had been asked her to be as a teacher for school for temporarily. I think that she could take over for at least for a while, and that maybe Soren or some other in the team could take over the Wonderballs for a while. But I don't think that the Wonderballs had any major events happening for so some time, since Spitfire would probably have said no if she couldn't. But still, other from that, teaching a Spitfire as a gymnastic teacher in school could actually be something for her. And Trixie as magical teacher in school, well, I could see that happen. But even to see Discord appear in school again, first as a teacher and as a student in tricks his class, talking to a banana as a phone. Not pun intended there, of course, a banana phone joke or song. And then he used his magic to somehow interrupt the class, like that he bring up the Ursa Minor. I was like, what? Are you insane, Discord? Those things are dead crazy, are very dangerous ones. And even at the end of the class, she actually answered a phone, and she didn't exactly what she meant, a long distance plan. But to bring a phone into the show, well, I have to say that was actually quite an interesting idea. But even to see that Spitfire had running the exercise course at school, nice touch. Seems she would be a great as a gymnastics teacher, no doubt. And Maud, well, we didn't see her in any class, so I can't even say more about it. And even to see that Discord using a bugbear, which we seen in the episode Slice of Life, has chasing the entire class of like the Young Six. And I was like, what? Discord, are you trying to hurting the students or even danger their lives for your magic to try to convince Starlight that you are better than Headmaster than her? That is a wrong way to do it. And also a bad wrong way to show it. And even to see Starlight using all her magic to like banish Discord from the school area, I was like, holy wow. I know that Starlight could be powerful, but that powerful? I did not expect that. Honestly, I didn't. I just was. My jaw was. I was like, And over that we can see that Discord seems to be gone. But what Starlight says, what Discord said to her, that before he was banished, that how could Twilight put some power-hungry unicorn in charge of the school rather than him? That was something that Starlight snapped. She actually cracked through that part and actually used all her magic to banish him. All I had to say, that was unbelievable. I didn't expect that Starlight could be so powerful in her magic. We all know that she was equally as strong as powerful as Twilight, but that powerful? It was beyond anything it could expect. But that proved my theory that Starlight could be more powerful than Twilight, or slightly average powerful than Twilight. But I think that she could be even stronger as Twilight herself. Even she's an alicorn and Starlight is a unicorn. I'm going off topic here. But anyways, since the next day not the same next day, but actually the same day when they had this scavenger hunt to find their artifacts, it seems to go quite well for them. Starlight is spiked by using Twilight's observatory to observe the students' progress through this hunt. And so far it went well for them, until they found out some of these places where the artifact was hidden suddenly became alive. Like the Jack helmet on an armor suddenly appeared to move on itself, and the painting of the first ruler of the Griffinstone was actually chasing Gallus and Silverstream. I was like, what? What's going on? Is this part of the plan? Or has been something, some sort of mysterious effect of those artifacts? I don't even know about that. But then we all discovered it was actually Discord's ghost who affected the artifacts, and he later brought them back and said that he won and he asked for the prize. And Spike said, "Attention." And that brought Discord's smile to a frown. But Starlight admitted to Discord that she was sorry, and that she knows that he felt left out. That since Twilight asked Starlight for help rather from Discord. And Discord was actually admitted that to her later on and accepted as the position Vice Headmaster or Head Mayor until Twilight and her friends just returned back. And they found out that was actually Discord had used his magic to affecting their cutie marks and sending them so far away in Equestria so that he could take over the school without them. To prove that he can rule and run the school without their help. I was like, what? How did he even affect the cutie map and the cutie marks? I didn't expect that Discord's magic could be so that controlled and powerful. We all know that Discord has chaotic powers, but I thought there could be some limits to his powers, what he can do, but apparently not. He can probably do anything with his powers except what he wants to know. So, in the end of the episode, that he was not then Spike said, "Well, this is something you do not need anymore." And then Discord said, "Ah, poop." Well, and that was my review about A Matter of Principles. I know that this episode was quite funny. I was not expecting this. I would say this was probably one of my best episodes in season 8, and I will give this rating as an A++. It was just hilarious. But then I don't know exactly if anyone else thinks this is a good episode or just average one. But I would like to hear what all of you think about A Matter of Principles, if you think this could be a good episode or if it could have been better. And as always, subscribe, leave a comment, and as always, this is Swedish Diablo, over and out.